FBI and ICE have launched a coordinated raid in Minneapolis, exposing a $420,000 network. Tonight,
at this moment, federal agents aren't knocking. They're breaching. And in Minneapolis, the target isn't a cartel lieutenant or a suburban stash house. It's the mayor's residence because investigators say the city's highest office is tied to a hidden logistics system moving narcotics, weapons, and cash through tunnel-fed corridors and through a financial network valued at $420 million. Right now, FBI and IC teams are executing warrants that were sealed for months. Evidence teams are bagging devices. Tactical units are cutting through drywall. K-9s are sweeping for currency and explosives. Because this wasn't street crime. This was infrastructure. And if the allegations are true, the mayor didn't just take bribes. They helped reroute a city. 1:12 a.m. Minneapolis, Minnesota. February air. Hard and metallic. Streetlights throw pale cones onto fresh snow that's been churned into gray slush by unmarked SUVs. The neighborhood is quiet in the way quiet becomes a warning. You hear it before you see it. The low thrum of idling engines. The faint static of radios. Boots biting ice. A short, sharp command, then silence again, like the entire block is holding its breath. At 1:13 a.m., a tactical team stacks on the front entry. Black helmets, face shields, rifles angled down but ready. At 1 hour 13 minutes and 27 seconds, the breacher steps forward. At 1 hour 13 minutes and 31 seconds, the charge snaps the door inward. Flash bangs fracture the darkness. A concussion you feel in your teeth. The house lights bloom and die. A dog barks once, then stops. Agents flood inside. Fast. Controlled. Relentless. Clear. Clear. Hallway. Clear. A second team swings around back, cutting through a gate with bolt cutters. A third team secures the street perimeter, stopping traffic 2 blocks out. Neighbors stare from behind curtains, phones held at chest height, like prayer. This is not a raid meant to be seen. This is a raid meant to end something. And in the first 5 minutes, the first layer appears. Not drugs, not weapons, cash. Bundles vacuum-sealed in plastic, stacked inside a basement storage room behind a false wall. Currency straps marked with bank codes and dates. A forensic accountant later calls it structured storage, the kind you use when money is expected, scheduled, and replenished. Then a second wall. Then a third. Behind the third, a steel door. No household reason. No renovation permit. No contractor record, just an industrial-grade lock with a keypad, and a smell, cold earth and damp concrete. That's when Special Agent Mara Ellison, FBI, Violent Crime Task Force Detail but cross-assigned to an organized crime joint cell, feels it. The shift. The moment the room stops being a room and becomes an entrance. If you want to see how deep this goes, hit like right now. Because what investigators find next doesn't just implicate a politician. It maps a machine. At 1:26 a.m., Ellison's team pauses on the steel door. A portable camera snake slides under the bottom seam. The video feed flickers, then stabilizes. Concrete, a narrow corridor, rebar-laced walls, fresh reinforcement, drainage channels carved into the floor, electrical conduit strapped cleanly along the right side. New work, recent work, professional work. Not a panic bunker, not a storm shelter. A passage. ICE Homeland Security Investigations, HSI Special Agent Tomas Rivas steps into frame, jaw set tight. He's been chasing an overdose trafficking pipeline for 18 months, tracking fentanyl lots by chemical signature, gas chromatograph profiles that match across seizures in 3 states. He doesn't speak at first. He just watches the screen. Then he says it quietly, like the words taste wrong. That's not a basement. At 1:31 a.m., the door is cut. Sparks in the dark. Metal shrieks. The lock fails. The air that rolls out is colder than the Minnesota night. Wet, subterranean, alive with the mineral bite of freshly turned soil. Agents step through. Lights cut on. And the corridor runs straight. 20 yards. 40. Then it bends. At 1:39 a.m., the tunnel opens into a chamber reinforced with steel ribs. A staging node. Cargo pallets. Plastic-wrapped packages. Wooden crates stenciled with shipping markings. A forklift parked with a key still in it. And on one crate, an adhesive label partially torn, but still readable. A freight company name, a routing code, a date, and a destination that isn't a warehouse. It's a municipal property, a city-owned maintenance facility. This wasn't a cartel tunnel under the border. This was a cartel tunnel under governance. By 2:02 a.m., the first K, 9 alerts on a pallet. Agents cut it open. Inside, bricks wrapped in carbon paper and grease, counter-surveillance packaging meant to confuse scanners and reduce scent. A field test pops blue. Cocaine. And not a little. Not a handful. Multiple kilos, packed like inventory. Within the next hour, they find the second layer. Digital evidence. A hardened Pelican case buried in a wall recess, sealed with a tamper strip. Inside, 2 encrypted laptops. A secure phone with an erased lock screen. A portable NAS server with mirrored drives. Evidence response team tags it fast, swabs for prints, bags it like it's radioactive. Because this wasn't a dealer's stash. This was a command post. At 3:11 a.m., Ellison is on the phone with the assistant U.S. attorney on duty. Her voice is flat because the truth is too loud. We have narcotics. We have a tunnel. We have servers. And we have municipal routing codes. On the other end, a pause. Then, a single sentence. Proceed to Phase 2. And Phase 2 has a name. Operation North Vein. But investigators weren't finished. At 4:23 a.m., the warrant team hits the mayor's office downtown, City Hall. Still dark, still closed, still unaware it's about to become a crime scene. Security guards are ordered to stand aside. A federal supervisor shows credentials. A lock is overridden. Then the building's quiet corridors fill with the sound of evidence carts and nitrile gloves. The office itself is pristine, staged, almost too clean. But forensics doesn't need chaos. Forensics needs patterns. They image the desktop. They pull archived emails. They seize a personal tablet that's forgotten in a drawer, screen wiped, but not truly wiped. At 5:19 a.m., an analyst finds the first thread that matters. Not a confession, a calendar invite, a recurring meeting title, Facilities Sync. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m., attendees, city infrastructure staff, procurement, a deputy commissioner, and an outside consultant, private sector, no city HR record. Just a name, just an email. The email domain doesn't resolve to a company. It resolves to a dead shell, a ghost address, a front. That's when the investigation stops being about contraband and becomes about control, because power doesn't always need violence. Sometimes it only needs access, signatures, and silence. Comment, exposed if you're ready to see who sold us out. And if you believe public office should never be a cartel pipeline, type Fury, so this reaches more people. By the afternoon, the third layer hits. Financial evidence. The Joint Financial Crimes Task Force, FBI accountants, IRS CI specialists, and DHS analysts begins tracing the money that keeps tunnels alive. They start where money always slips through: contracts, city procurement bids, maintenance invoices, emergency repair authorizations. At first, it looks like normal bureaucracy, paperwork noise. But then the numbers align too cleanly. Repeated awards to the same cluster of vendors. Vendors that share mailing addresses. Vendors that share registered agents. Vendors that share bank signatories. Shell companies stacked like nesting dolls. A city contract for stormwater rehabilitation worth $6.8 million paid to firm that has no equipment, no staff, and no operational footprint. Then another contract. Then another. The money doesn't sit. It moves. Within hours, it's wired out, split into smaller transfers across accounts in Florida, Nevada, and offshore nodes that keep their ownership hidden behind legal fog. By day 3, the running ledger the task force compiles is staggering. The network's total flow through contracts, laundering, logistics, and narcotics value is estimated at $420 million. Not because an agent guessed, because the transactions echo, because the math repeats, because the cartel's logistics aren't chaotic. They're audited. At day 4, 9:36 p.m., a break comes from the tunnel itself. A surveyor's marking on a support beam, fresh, handwritten. Coordinates, not GPS, not street coordinates, utility grid coordinates, the kind city engineers use. That means someone with city access helped design this. And that means the mayor may not be the only compromised figure. Then everything shattered open. Human evidence, an informant. They call him Cedar. Not his real name, not his real face. He's been living in temporary rentals, moving every week, sleeping with the lights on. Cedar isn't a cartel soldier. He's a contractor, one of the men hired to reinforce drainage corridors after midnight, paid in cash, told not to ask questions. His hands still carry the micro cuts from rebar ties. In a debrief room, He slides a folded piece of paper across the table. A list of drop dates, a schedule, and a name he says he heard repeatedly, spoken with deference. Not fear, respect. The mayor, Cedar says. That's how they said it. Like a title. Like protection. Agent Rivas doesn't blink. He asks one question. Did you see them? Cedar shakes his head, but he offers something else. A photo, taken accidentally, blurry. A man's silhouette standing near a tunnel node, wearing a city-issued jacket with a reflective strip. On the back, stitched letters, DPW, Department of Public Works. The betrayal is no longer abstract. It has a uniform. At week 2, the fourth layer surfaces. Compromised law enforcement. A patrol officer pulled over a van near a city maintenance depot late one night. No plate light, suspicious behavior. The stop ends quickly. Too quickly. Bodycam footage shows a second vehicle arriving, an unmarked car. The officer approaches, then steps back, then waves the van through. No ticket, no search, no record logged. Internal Affairs sees it and goes cold. Because the unmarked car isn't random. It belongs to a detective assigned to a narcotics unit. A unit that should be hunting this. Instead, it's escorting it. Now the task force understands the systemic evidence. This isn't just criminals bribing a politician. This is criminals reprogramming an institution. Low-level corruption becomes mid-level compromise. Mid-level compromise becomes operational control. And at the center of it, the mayor's office isn't a bystander. It's a switchboard. If you're still watching, you already understand this is bigger than one tunnel. Because what they find next is the kind of betrayal that doesn't just steal money. It steals reality. At week 3, forensic analysts crack the encrypted NAS partially. Not the whole thing. Not cleanly, but enough. A directory tree labeled with neutral terms, facilities, projects, logistics. Inside are spreadsheets, route diagrams, and photos of access hatches under city streets, manholes marked with coded paint dots that mean nothing to civilians. There are chat logs too. Short messages, operational language. Move 12 by 0200. Stage at node K. Perimeter friendly. Friendly. A word that shouldn't exist in cartel operations unless someone inside the system is making it friendly. Then the fifth layer arrives. Victims. A mother named Alina Perez sits with agents in a small room that smells like burnt coffee. Her hands don't stop moving. Her eyes don't settle. Her son, 16, died after a single pill. Pressed fentanyl sold as something else. She slides a photo across the table. A boy in a hoodie, smiling like the world isn't dangerous. She doesn't scream. She doesn't cry at first. She says it plainly. They made my son a line item. And in that sentence, the case becomes more than an investigation. It becomes a reckoning. By week 5, the task force is ready for Act 3. The takedown. They don't move early. They don't move loud. They move when they can cut the head and seize the hands at the same time. Because a network like this doesn't survive on one person. It survives on redundancy. At 2 a.m., the command center activates. Multiple agencies. FBI, ICE HSI, DEA, ATF, CBP intelligence support. Local SWAT units vetted and compartmentalized. Marshal stage for high-risk apprehensions. A synchronized strike plan across the metro area and beyond. 14 locations. 32 targets. One window. They call it Operation North Vein Nightfall. At 2:17 a.m., the first breach hits a suburban warehouse disguised as an HVAC supply distributor. Ram slam. Metal doors fold. Inside, a packaging line. Pill press components binding agents, dye stamps. ATF text document it like a bomb scene. Because in a way, it is. At 2:24 a.m., agents hit a lawyer's office. After hours empty, but the vault isn't. Inside, escrow accounts tied to shell vendors. Hard drives labeled with client codes. A stack of passports. At 2:31 a.m., a traffic stop becomes a rolling seizure. A semi-truck is intercepted. Hidden compartment. Steel paneling. 27 duffel bags of cash. Not counted on scene. Wait. Like contraband. At 2:42 a.m., the most dangerous location goes live. A tunnel node beneath a municipal facility. A DPW access hatch. A steel ladder. Down below, men are working moving crates, stacking inventory. They look up into floodlights. For a fraction of a second, they don't run. They freeze. Then it becomes chaos. Shouts in Spanish. Footsteps on wet concrete. A gun flashes. One shot. Then another. Agent Rivas goes down, hit in the shoulder, spun by impact, armor catching the worst of it, but not all. Agent Ellison drags him behind a support beam as rounds chip concrete. She's breathing hard, voice sharp into her mic. Shots fired. Officer down. Push. Push. A tactical medic slides in, clamps a bandage, checks Rivas's eyes. Rivas grits his teeth. He says, barely audible, "Don't let them close it. Don't let them bury it." Because tunnels can be destroyed. Evidence can be erased. All it takes is time and machinery. At 3:08 a.m., the last warrant is served. The mayor is taken into custody. No cameras. No public spectacle. Just a hallway, a set of cuffs, and a federal agent reading rights in a voice that doesn't shake. The mayor's face is controlled. Too controlled. A practice calm. But the hands tremble once. Just once. And that's enough. Because in the weeks ahead, the evidence turns into a flood. Seizures aren't announced as numbers on a page. They're hauled out on pallets. Cash counted by machine. Weapons logged by serial number. Drugs weighed in kilos. Encrypted devices imaged, mirrored, preserved. And the city, this city, learned something it never wanted to learn. That the infrastructure meant to serve them was used to move poison beneath their feet. In court, the narrative changes. No more night raids. No more tunnels. Now it's fluorescent light and quiet breathing and the soft click of a microphone turning on. At sentencing, victims speak. Alina Perez stands at the lectern. She looks straight ahead, not at the defendant. Her voice is steady, and that steadiness is devastating. "My son never got a second chance," she says. "So I'm asking you to stop giving them endless chances to hurt us." An honest officer testifies too, an MPD sergeant who tried to report suspicious procurement patterns and was told to stay in his lane. He says openly on the record, "They didn't just break the law. They broke the trust that keeps us from becoming a battlefield." And the judge listens, because this was a lesser crime. This was a systemic threat. The authority figure didn't just enable trafficking. They helped compromise the system designed to stop it. But the aftermath isn't clean. It never is. The city has to audit every contract, rebuild oversight, purge compromised units, retrain departments that were infiltrated, manipulated, and rerouted. And the investigators, Ellison, Rivas, the analysts who slept on office floors for weeks, carry injuries you can't always see. Rivas survives, but his arm never fully recovers. He can't raise it the same way. He can't shoot the same way. He doesn't complain. He just says one thing, later, in a debrief. "They didn't fear us. They budgeted for us." And that's the line that sticks. Because it explains the true danger. Not the tunnel. Not the cash. Not even the drugs. The danger is the confidence that institutions can be purchased like equipment. That public trust can be rented. That a city can be turned into a corridor. This story is a fictional dramatization, but the warning is real. When power and money share a shadow, corruption doesn't arrive with sirens. It arrives with paperwork, with contracts, with routine meetings, with quiet approvals that don't look like crime until the damage is already done. So the question isn't only whether we caught them this time. The question is, will we catch the next network before it's too late? Hit subscribe so you see what happens next. Share this so people understand how deep betrayal can go. Comment vigilance below and tap like so more people see this story.